చుక్కగానండి.
कितना प्लेसमेंट है भाई हाईएस्ट?
Wild fire.
హలో చెప్పు ధర్మ. హలో హలో.
అయ్యా ఇక్కడ మల్లారెడ్డిలో 3.2 ఇస్తున్నారయ్యా ప్యాకేజ్. మీ కాడ ఎంత ఇస్తున్నారు?
ब्रो 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 स्पीक हिंदी.
Hey, hi guys. Hello. Hello. Am I audible?
यस सर.
Really sorry, man. I was stuck in the traffic.
మల్లారెడ్డి అంటే నేషనల్ అనుకున్నావా?
Good evening, sir.
ఇంటర్నేషనల్.
Sorry. Am I audible to all of you? Hello.
Yes sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry, I was stuck in traffic. Just reached the home. Okay. Yeah, that's my bad. I really apologize for the 20 minutes. And I can see some of the people already left the meeting. It's a big blunder. Okay, yeah, let's start the session. First of all, before we start, anyone have any doubts or any question from the last session? Anyone? Any doubts, any questions, any queries, anything?
No sir.
No? Okay,
Sir,
great.
this is
Mhm.
my first
सर थोड़ा सा
lecture.
recap दे सकते हैं लास्ट क्लास का?
Problem or not?
Hey Pathya, I'm not able to hear you properly. Your voice is breaking. Can you please write it in the chat box? Okay. Prashant, you were saying something?
रिकैप दे सकते हैं लास्ट क्लास का सर?
Yeah, sure, man.
Yes.
Okay. Let me open a couple of stuffs. Okay, so let me share my screen now. Class workbook. Yeah, here it is. Okay. My screen is visible to all of you?
Yes sir.
Yeah, okay.
Yes sir.
Yeah. So in the last couple of session, what we had discussed about the data and how does the data actually works, what are the different types of the data that we have, where we had discussed about the structured and the unstructured data. So structured data was something where we have the tabular form of the data, okay, and into the unstructured format, we are having the data set which is containing like images, graphs, videos, audio, something like this. Okay. And then after that, we had discussed about the categorical and the numerical data. So categorical data is basically the data where you cannot apply the arithmetical operations. Okay. It contains the names or labels of something. It may contain some of the numerical values. Okay. When I'm saying the numerical value, just like mobile number, okay, jersey number, pin code, zip code, okay, all these numbers that we have, even though these values are the numbers, but we cannot apply any arithmetical operation onto it. Okay, then we have a numerical data. So into the numerical data, we generally have the numbers where we can apply our arithmetical operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, or any mathematical operations. Okay, numerical data was of two types, continuous and the discrete. Continuous contains those value where it is in decimals like height, weight, okay, and the discrete is basically the count of something like number of runs, goals, number of people, number of units. So it is basically the count of something. Okay, then after that, in the yesterday's session, we had discussed about one thing called as a for the categorical data, we had discussed about the graphs. Okay, so in the categorical data, what we had discussed, okay, categorical, and we had discussed two things. One is called as a pie chart, and the second one is called as a bar chart. Okay, so these are the two things that we had discussed yesterday, and how the pie chart looks like, how the bar chart looks like. All these things we had discussed, and a better way is always that we can suggest is the bar chart for the categorical data. So these are the things that we had discussed in our earlier session. Now, okay, one guy has asked for the multivariate analysis. Okay, so multivariate analysis where we are considering more than two variables in account. Okay, for example, let's understand this with an example. Suppose you have to buy a mobile phone. Okay, let me tell you about the very good example of the multivariate analysis. You wanted to buy a mobile phone. Okay, now whenever you want to buy a mobile phone, okay, then instead of just looking for the company of the mobile phone, you are going to compare the multiple thing. You are going to analyze multiple things. Okay, like what is the price of it? Okay, according to your budget. Then what are the features that you wanted? What are the camera quality? What are the memory? What are the RAM? Okay, then company is also one thing. Okay, so there are several factors that you are considering, that you are trying to analyze when you are trying to analyze, let's say, camera. Okay, so you are going to analyze multiple phones camera, like you are analyzing for iPhone's camera, you are analyzing for whatever the iPhone, that whether it is suited in your budget or not. Then maybe Samsung Galaxy S series camera, and there are some other phones as well which are providing very good kind of camera. Then maybe some of you are like gamers, so you will look for the processor, you will look for the frame rates. Okay, how smooth the touch is going, how fast the processor is working, heating issue. So see, you are not only analyzing one parameter like the company. Okay, you are looking for multiple variables. These things are variable, it is changing from phone to phone. Okay, so you are doing this for multiple variables. So whenever you have to do some analysis and there are multiple variables or multiple parameters you are considering, that's what we called as a multivariate analysis. Okay, this is what we called as a multivariate analysis. Okay, now it's clear now what is multivariate? Who asked that question? Abhishek. Okay, now yesterday we had discussed about the categorical data. Today we are going to discuss about the numerical data. So into the numerical data, there is one thing called as a histogram. Okay, and then there is a second thing called as a box plot. Okay, so generally for univariate analysis, we are having the histograms, univariate. Okay, univariate, we are having the histogram and the box plot. For bivariate, okay, where we are taking two variables into the consideration, there we have scatter plot. Okay, scatter plot, line chart. Okay, scatter plot, line chart, then trend. Okay, trend chart. Then so these are a couple of them we will discuss. Okay, then in multivariate also we can use the similar chart that we have into the bivariate. Now let's understand each of the charts one by one. Okay, but before coming to the charting of the numerical data, we have to understand one couple of statistical concepts. Okay, and what are those concepts? Okay, so we must have to understand about the mean, median, mode. Okay, mean, median, and mode, and we also have to understand about the percentiles. Okay. So now, if I ask you, mean is something which everyone knows. Okay, what is mean? What is mean value?
Average value.
Yeah, that's the other name. What is the definition? So it's the average value. It basically represents, mean values are basically representing how you can summarize the data. Okay, when I'm saying the summarize, let's see what I'm trying to say. Okay, so suppose I have this particular data. Okay, the price column over here. Now, different columns have, sorry, different rows have different prices, correct? So if right now I'm looking into this, okay, so this is again a very small data, and I can find, okay, roughly the cost of each product is somewhere around 30 to 45. Okay, but when the data is huge, okay, you have 1 lakh rows, 20 lakhs rows, okay, in that particular case, how you will get to know that what is the type of the value that we have. Okay, some values, like for the students, there will be some student who may have scored 100 out of 100 marks. Okay, and in the same class there might be a student who may have scored 0 marks. Okay, and there are a couple of students who are in between this. Okay, that's a quite possibility, right? So if I ask you how you will rate the performance of the class. Okay, so for rating the performance, we require a statistical measure. Okay, what we need? We need a statistical measure that is going to tell us about the measure of central tendency. Okay, now this might be a new word for you guys. Now let's understand what is this measure of central tendency. Okay, so this is nothing but it is your mean median mode. So it's a fancy name in the data science and data analytics field, but it is basically nothing but it is the three M's: mean, median, and mode is basically the measure of central tendency. Now, what is this measure of central tendency? Let's try to understand that. Okay, so measure of central tendency, I have that notes available for you. I will share this file with you guys today. Okay, so what is the measure of central tendency? The measure of central tendency is basically a descriptive measure that indicates where the most typical values or the center values of the data lies. Okay, where the most typical value or the center value. Now, what is the center value? So the center value is by which I can represent the whole data set. Okay, now for an example, there are some students. Okay, I may have a sheet or some numbers. Let me check on this. Which data I can use? I have lots of data over here. Sheet 4 do I have? Let me use this sheet only. Ah, this one, the number of goals. Yeah, this one. Okay. So let's suppose I have this data. Let's take this data and play with it. Okay, I have this data, which is again a numerical data. Now, on this particular data, we have lots of players into it. Okay, but if I ask you, what is the average number of goals that the player has scored? So you can calculate the average. Now, the question is why we are interested in the average. Okay, a better way to understand is suppose we have some marks of the student. Okay, let's say 95, 75, 48, 65, 85, 24, 76, 36, 94, 62, 58, 62. Okay, I have some couple of randomly I have chosen some of the value. Now, this is a one class, there is an exam, and after the exam, these are the marks that the student has got. Now, the director of the school visited this class, and the director asked, hey, how's the performance of the class? What question director asked? How's the performance of the class? Okay. Now, you are the teacher and you got and the students got these marks. How you will tell how's the performance when you have this type of data? What do you think? Think about it. How you will answer this particular question? How's the performance of the class? I will give you 1 minute for this to think about it. You have numbers and the teacher director is asking for the performance. And you have right now, it's just around 12 values. These values may goes to like 20 or sorry, 200 values. Okay. Sum of observation by okay, by finding mean. Okay. Okay. So that's where we require the center value. Okay. What we need? We require the center value. The values which can actually represent the whole data set. That's what we called as a center value. So what is the average value that I'm getting over here? The average value that I am getting over here is 65. Okay. So now I can say that the performance of this class is good, not excellent, not bad. It's a 65%. It's a good class, not a poor performing class or not a very brilliant class. Okay. So you can see that by this particular performance, I can actually comment on the whole performance of the class. Okay. I cannot say that one person got 95, so the whole batch is excellent. And similarly, one person got 24, I cannot say the whole batch is poor. Okay. So we require the center value. Okay. So the center value that we are using in the data analytics is mean, median, and the mode. Okay. Generally in the plots, you will get these value. Most of the time we are actually using the mean of the data. Okay. Now, today, what we are going to do is we are going to create some plots into the Tableau for the numerical and the categorical data. And let's have an introduction of the Tableau. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to share one particular data set with you guys. Just give me a minute. I will share a Google Drive link so that you guys can download that particular data set. Yeah, here it is. Okay, open, share, copy link. Okay, I'm sharing a Google Drive link in the chat box. What you have to do, just visit that particular link and download the data. Okay. Yeah, this is the link. So if you go and click on this particular link, you will get these files. Okay, what you have to do, just go one folder back. Okay, and then on this particular folder, just right click over here. Just click over here and you can actually download it. Okay, so use this link instead of that, the folder one instead of the files. Okay, so just download this particular data set. And once you download it, then we are going to use some files of it. Okay, so let's suppose I have a lot of data over here. One of them I'm going to use today. Now, once this downloading is completed, now what we will do is we will go for Tableau. Okay, everyone's installation is done for Tableau. So everyone, please open your Tableau and we are going to use it today. Okay. Okay. Now, when you open the Tableau, okay. Oh, I got a message. No, sir. Why? Neha, just download it from the Tableau website. Okay. Just search for Tableau for student and you will get it on Google. Okay. Those who do not downloaded it, please follow the steps I have already mentioned. Tableau student, just search for it. Okay. And the first link, you will get this. No, we cannot run it on phone. Okay. On the phone, it will be, you will not be able to create the charts. Okay. That should be system. Now, when you just open the Tableau, here there is a file section. Okay. To a file. So you can select the type of the file. So I had shared the Excel files with you guys. Okay. So you have to select the Microsoft Excel. Okay. In my case, it is going to be a text file. Okay. So you have to select the Microsoft Excel from here and it will give you this pop-up. Okay. Then navigate to that particular folder. Let me download that folder also. Okay. So I can exactly show what I am doing. Okay. So download. Okay, this is downloaded. Now I will extract it. Oh, here. Let's extract. Extraction is done. Okay, so this is a folder. Okay, now I'm going to use it. So if I go to the Tableau and I can go to my downloads here, this is the data folder that I had shared with you. Okay, so in my case, it is giving no match. Why? Because I have to select the Excel. Okay, go to the downloads and then whatever the data that I had shared, a lot of data type is there, a lot of data is actually there. So we can take one data out of it. Okay, so the data that we are going to take is called as a train. Okay, so there is a one data, its name is train and we are going to use it. It's actually a Titanic data. Okay, and let me open this particular data for you. Okay, just click on open. Okay, once you loaded your data, then this is how the Tableau pane looks like. Okay, you will see your sample data over here. Okay, and what are the columns that you have into the data set. Okay, now let me give you a brief description about the data set, and you guys also have to tell me during that process that whether that particular column is going to be a numerical data or a categorical data. Okay, first let's understand each and every field names that we have. Okay, so the first is passive. So let me give you a brief description. So this is a Titanic data. Okay, in this particular data, what we have is we have the data of the passengers that boarded the Titanic when the Titanic sank. Okay, so and we have couple of columns for that particular data set. Okay, now passenger ID. So what is one ID is assigned to each passenger? That is passenger 1, passenger 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay, now we have another column called as a survived. What is this survived column? So survived column is basically telling us it contains two value, that is 0 and 1. Okay, 0 means the person is not survived. 1 means the person survived the Titanic incident. Okay. Third one is the passenger class. That is called as a P class. So P class or the passenger class is basically telling us in which particular class the passenger is traveling, first class, second class, or the third class. So you can see there are three values, 1, and then here I have 2 and 3. So what is the class in which passenger is traveling? Then the name and sex, age, quite understandable. Then SIB SP means sibling and spouse. Okay. So if you want, you can rename it. So it is siblings, comma, spouse. Okay. So I just change the name of a one column. You can do that. Okay. Then Parch, it's not Parch, it's parents. Or to be precise, it's number of children. Okay. With that particular passenger, how many children are traveling? Okay. Then we have ticket number of the passengers. Okay. Then we have fare of the passenger, how much fare that they have paid. Then this is the cabin number, in which cabin the person is allocated. Okay. Then here we have the embarked. Embarked is the port of embarkation. Okay. From where the people actually boarded the Titanic. Okay. So there were 3 boarding points: Southampton, Cherbourg, and Queenstown. Okay. So S, C, and Q. These are the boarding points. Right. Now, I have a few questions for you guys. Okay. Can you share the data sheet again? Yes, why not? Yeah, this is the data set, Prashant. Okay. Now, here you can see that now I'm going to ask the question and you guys have to give me the answers in the chat box. Okay. First is the passenger ID. It's categorical data or numerical. If categorical, write C. If numerical, write N. It's categorical or numerical. Passenger ID. Very good, guys. It's a categorical data. Okay. Why? Because it's ID. Okay. It's a label. We cannot apply any arithmetical operation onto it. So this cannot be a numerical data. Okay. Now, survived. 0 means person is not survived. 1 means survived. Okay. So it's categorical or numerical. Farhat, why it is going to be a numerical data? Can you apply any arithmetical operation onto it?
पर कितने लोग बचे ये पता लगा सकते हैं?
How to download Tableau? I'm facing issue while downloading. At the end of the session, I will help you, Tarun. Okay. So this is P class, which is also categorical. Okay, names. Name. That's a pretty simple. It's a categorical data. Okay. Sex. This is also a categorical. Age. What about age? It's a categorical or numerical? Age. Age of a person. How age can be categorical, Abu? Pramod, how age can be categorical data? I'm talking about the age. Age of a person. How this can be categorical? We can find what is the average age of the person who boarded the Titanic. Okay. We can check, okay, this person is 22 years old, this is 38, the age difference is around 16. Okay. We can filter age wise. So how it will make it as a categorical? It's a numerical data. You can apply arithmetical operation onto it. It's a measurement. Okay. So it's a numerical data. Okay. Now, number of siblings or children. Listen to me again. Numbers of siblings. Number of siblings. Categorical or numerical? Okay, Prachi, Ahmed, Om, very good. It's a numerical data. Okay. In numerical data, is it continuous or discrete? How this can be continuous? Number of siblings. Can anyone have 1.5 siblings? No. So it's a discrete numerical data. Okay. Number of children, number of children traveling with the parents. Categorical or numerical? Numerical. Very good. Discrete or continuous? Discrete. Very good. Now, coming to the ticket number of the person. Numerical or categorical? Ticket number. So this will be categorical data because it's a alphanumeric values, right? So this is a categorical data. Okay. Fare, amount of money that have been paid. So fare is a numerical data. Okay. We can find like maximum fare, total fare, average fare, minimum fare. Okay. Cabin ID. So that is categorical data. Embarked. That is also categorical data, port of embarkation. Okay. Now, once we understood the data and why this understanding is important, you will get to know. Now I will click on here, go to worksheet, and I will be on this page. Now let's understand this particular UI over here. Okay. So on the UI, on the very left hand side, we can see all the columns that we had. Okay. And couple of more values you are seeing over here. Okay. Now, there is one thing is when you are going to look for these column, okay, you can see at very small, I don't know whether it is visible for you or not, but here it's ABC and here we have hash or pound symbol. So the hash or the pound symbol is basically representing that the data is in the numbers. Okay. And the ABC is representing that the data is actually having the classes or the categorical data. But sometimes as we know that there are some data which is actually a categorical data but is written in form of a number. For example, age is a numerical data and it is at correct place. Children is correctly tagged with the numerical data, number of children. Fare is correctly tagged. P class, passenger traveling class. When we had a data, the traveling class contains the values 1, 2, 3. First class, second class, third class. Okay. So Tableau is not able to identify whether it's a categorical data or it's numerical data. So based on the values that we had into it, it categorizes it as a numerical data. Okay. But we just understood this point that P class is a categorical data. So we have to change the data type of it. Okay. Second thing is we have the survive column. This is also a categorical data, 0 and 1. Okay. So person is survived or not survived, right? Now, if you can closely see, there is a one fine line over here. Is it visible? This fine line between measure names and age. Okay. So above this fine line that we have a categorical data. Okay. Below this line, we are going to have numerical data. And we can see that there are two such column, P class and the survived, which is actually in the numerical data. So we have to change it. We have to put this data over here. How to do that? There is a way you can take it and you can drag and drop it to the upper section. Or what you can do, you can right click on the data, and then here it is asking for this one, convert to discrete or convert to dimension. Okay, so I can convert it to the dimension. So now it will be the part of the categorical section. Okay, why we have to drag? You can drag it. Okay, you can drag it like this. Okay, or you can just right click and then convert it to dimension, or just drag it over here. That will do the job. Okay, now once you have the data, and that's why I mentioned, that's why we spend like around 2.5 hours in the past session to understand the data. If the data is not correctly tagged, then you will not able to get a correct plot for it. Okay, now once we have the data thing, now there are these tools that is available. So let's have a one introduction about the Tableau, that how, what are the things that this particular application is giving to us. Okay, so we will start from over here. So over here you can see that I can add a new worksheet. So let's say you want to create n number of plot and you have only this much of a space. You want to create something new. So there is one thing called as a new sheet. So when I'm going to click on it, just like Excel, at the bottom left of my screen, you can see now I have sheet 1 and sheet 2. Okay, you can add as many sheets as you want. Here also we are having a option of sheets. Okay, so sheet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are going to create a lot of plots. Okay, then the next thing is here, this is a duplicate. Once you have created some plot and you want to duplicate it, you can do that. Okay, then clear sheet. This option will clear all the things that you have created. Okay, now this is something very much important that's called as swap rows and column. Okay, so what are these things? I will tell you with the demonstration. Okay, now coming over here. So these are called as a markers. Okay, like if I want to change the color of my plot, I want to resize any of the things in my plot, I want to add some text, I want to like write some details about it, or I want to set a pop-up message. If I'm hovering on that, then a message will appear. Okay, so all these things we can use from here. Now there is also option of filters. Okay, so for example, the genders are male and female. I only want to analyze the male's data or the female's data. Okay, so that is something that we can use with the filters. Now let's try to understand one more thing. Here we have one thing called as a count. Okay, whatever is your data name, then there will be one thing mentioned as a count. So count is basically giving you the frequency of the each categorical values. Okay, yesterday we saw that when we require to create this bar chart, A, B, C, and D classes, we required the count of it. So A was 40, B was 30. Okay, so what is this? Out of 100 people, there was a 40 number of people who actually scored grade A. Okay, so I counted those values. So in categorical data, we require the count of each category to make the pie chart and the bar charts. Okay, now on this particular side, if you can see that this is called as a columns, and this is the rows, and this is your field where we are going to create the things. You can drag and drop the things over here as well, or over here as well. On the very right hand side, I have a one option called as a show me. Okay, into the show me, according to the data, you can create the different types of plots. Okay, it's not only restricted to the pie chart and the bar chart. There are so many things. Suppose you have a geographical data, You can even create the maps. You guys may have seen that there is a world map, and wherever a company is selling or the effect of something, then the map is highlighted. Okay, so for that we require a geographical column, and that's how we can build it. I will show you in next classes. Okay, then there are different types of chart: multi-line chart, pie chart, box plot, and all those stuff we are having over here. Okay, now let's try to create the very first chart. What is the purpose to merge? Which merge? Where you saw merge? I did not discuss anything about merge. What is
So
the
I'm asking,
purpose?
why have we have to move that numeric to the alpha?
Okay, because that's what the column, na, we understood, na, that yesterday what we had discussed for categorical data, the plots are different. Okay, pie chart and the bar chart. For the numerical data, these are the set of charts. Okay, for numerical data, you cannot create a bar chart like this. Okay, you do not have the categories, right? Numerical data is continuous or discrete. So there are numbers. You cannot create something like this. So that's why we have to make sure that our classes or our columns must be tagged correctly. Otherwise, you may have a categorical data, but you will get the output which is similar to the numerical values. That is something which I don't want. Okay, so that is why I have done that. Okay, for example, if a peak, I will create the plots, that time I will tell you. Okay, now let's understand how to create the plots over here. It's super simple. Okay, suppose I wanted to understand. Now coming to the most important part of the data analysis. Okay, I will take 20 minutes more today. Okay, because I was late. So the most important thing is, whenever we are plotting something, why and what. Now what is this why and what? Okay, then comes how. So you have to actually caution yourself these two things: why you are creating a chart and what information you want from it. Because every chart will give you some answers, but it will only give you the answer if you know what you want to find. Okay, so that's why during the analysis we are trying to create the charts and then trying to ask some question and try to find some answers from it. Okay, it's little tricky, but you will get it easily. For example, now listen this line. What is P class? Number of people traveling in first, second, and third classes. Okay, if the person is traveling first class, second class, or third class, that is the information which is stored into the P class column. Now, what I wanted to know, I wanted to understand what is the distribution of the people traveling in these classes. Out of the total number of people, how many of them were traveling in the first class, how many of them were traveling in second class, and how many of them were in the third class. Okay, what I can do is I can simply pick it and drag it. You can put it over here, you can put it over here, or best is you can put it over here in the columns. So into the column I have putted my P class. Okay, so now there is no such information, that is just a table. And if I click on show me, no graphs is activated for me. I cannot create anything because I just have a one column. So what I need some frequency or the count of it. Okay, because that's what I wanted to plot. So I will use this count variable and drag it to the rows. Okay, now I just got my distribution. So let's increase the size. So if I hover my mouse over here, I can drag it. And yeah, I got a one bar chart. Okay. Now, if I hover my mouse onto it, so it is giving me the count of it. Okay. So for class 1, it is 216. For class 2, it is 184. And for class 3, it is 491 passengers. But we cannot hover it every time. So what I want is, I want that there should be the labels. Okay. So where is the label in my screen? So the labels are over here. Now you can see that these options are also activated. Okay, earlier these options were not activated. And then into the show me, the pie chart is available, this chart, and a couple of more charts are also available for me. Okay. If I just want to create a pie chart, I will simply click on it and it will convert my bar chart into a pie chart. Okay. Now I will go on the pie chart a bit later, but let's try to customize it. Okay. So first what I want is, I want to put some labels over here. Okay. What is their count? So this is the label that I have. Okay. We are going to click on it and it is showing me a lot of values. Okay. We're not going to, so what are these values? By this, you can actually tweak the font and other stuff. The best way to get the labels is, what is this class? It is, sorry, what is this column? P class. Just take the P class, drag it, and put it into the labels. Okay. Now you can see I got my labels 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So why I got 1, 2, 3? What I wanted what is the distribution? Hey, I wanted 216. 1 is already there. Okay. I don't want 1, 2, 3 over here. I can get it from my x-axis. So what's the other way? So what you will do, you will drag it and you will take it back. Okay. The labels are gone. What I want to show as a label, the count of it. Okay. So take the count variable and now drag it over here. Okay. And now you can see I am getting the count of each class. Okay. 216, 184 and 491. Right. Now there is an option of color. If you click on it and from here, you can select whatever the color that you want for your plot. Okay. So let's suppose I'm using this color. Okay. You can change the opacity and all those stuff by your own. Okay. Then there is a border line, whether you want any other colors border or something. Okay. Like from the palette also, you can select whatever the color that you want. Okay. So now this is one thing. Now, some people may have asked me, or like what I want is, this plot looks very monotonous. What I can do is I can change the color of each bar. Okay, my each category looks different color. That's what I wanted. I don't want all the colors to be same. Okay. Now, what is the requirement? That color should not be same. How it can be differed? It can be differed by my classes. Okay, the P class that I have. So what you have to do is, again, you will take the variable and put it into the colors block. Okay. Earlier, what I have done, I just opened the color block. Okay. I did not drag any variable into it. Okay. I just opened it. Now what I will do, I will just drag it and put it over here. Okay. And now you can see I got 3 different colors. Now you can customize these 3 different colors as well, as per your requirement from the color block. And here on the right hand side, you can see I got the legends as well. Okay, that the blue color is for representing class 1, the orange color is representing class 2, and this color, okay, I will call it as light red. I'm not very good with the colors. So this is something as represented by class 3. Okay, now you can see that I got these plots. Okay, now let me just duplicate this sheet. I will not going to ruin it. I just duplicated it. Okay, so my original sheet will remain intact. I got duplicated and you can see sheet 1 and 2. You can rename it as well. Okay, you can rename whatever the name that you want. You can rename it. Now, what I want is, Someone has asked me, okay, this plot does not looks in a very good fashion to me. What I want to arrange it into some other order. Okay, can I just put this over here so it will be an increasing order? Or can I just put this 3 as at the first place so it will be an in the decreasing order? So there is an option of it. Okay, you can see at follow my mouse at the top option, you can see that this is the option sorted ascending by count. Okay, so if I click on this, now you can see that this is arranged into the ascending order. Now it's no longer 1, 2, 3. It's 2, 1, and 3. Okay. Now I want to sort it into the descending order. So if I click on it, and you can see that now my plots are in the descending order. So whatever the order that you want, you can actually click over here and it will be arranged into it. Okay. Now I will just duplicate this sheet again. Okay. Let's make it one more duplicate. Now, this time, what I want is, I don't want you. So people said that, okay, I don't want this vertical bars. I want a bar chart. Okay, I want a bar chart which actually looks like this. So you guys may have seen a bar chart which actually looks like this. Okay, so for this, what you can do is there is an option of flipping the rows and columns. You can do that manually as well. Okay, where from the columns, the P class will come into the rows and this will go over here. Okay, you can drag it manually. I will drag it, put it over here, drag it, put it over here. Or what you can do, there is an option of swap rows. Okay, I will click on it and now you can see that my rows and columns were swapped. So earlier it was like this. Okay, earlier it was like this. P class was in the columns and in the rows we have the count. When I clicked on it, now you can see that I have the values like this. Okay, so in this particular case, I have my values which is horizontal. Okay, so you can actually swap the variables as well, just like this. Okay, sorry, sir. Okay, no issues. Now, once I have this, now if you want to arrange it, that can be arranged over here as well. Okay, so here what we saw that how easily you can create a plot into the tableau. That's a bar chart. Now if I have to create a pie chart, okay, so let me just duplicate this same cell or let me just build it from the scratch. Okay, pie chart, let's say I wanted to create it for the survived column because it only have 2 category. Okay, so I wanted to see the pie chart for my survived column. So let's take the survived column, put it over here. Then what I need for the categorical data, I need the count. So by default, it is giving me the best chart, that is bar chart. Okay, so here you can see that all the charting options are also available, like which one you want. Okay, so I want a pie chart. You can get it from here as well. Okay, I will just click over here and it will be converted into a pie chart. So let's do that. Okay, not on this one, sorry. This will be automatic, this one. Okay, so now this is my pie chart of a particular data and I can go for the labels as well. So let's say I have the count and I will put it into the labels. Okay, so I'm getting this and I can put my survived also into the labels. Okay, so you will find a cursor over here and you can resize it. Okay, so I just got a pie chart for my survived column over here. Okay, so it's a 549 for the class 0 and 342 people. So out of roughly around 900 people, 549 was not able to survive. That is class 0. And 342 of them were actually able to survive the Titanic incident. Okay, again, you want to change the colors, you can do that. Now, if I build the same for my P class, okay, or let's say embarked, there are 3 embarkation points, port of embarkation, that is Southampton, and then Cherbourg and Queenstown. So let's do this. So embarked, and then I can use the count over here. So this is a distribution. Now I get to know that over here, in the embarked column, I have C, Q, and S, and there is one very interesting thing called as a null value. Means for there are some records for which we don't know from where the people have actually boarded. Okay, so 644 people boarded from Southampton, 77 people boarded from Queenstown, and 168 people boarded from Cherbourg. And there are 2 such people in the Titanic data for which we do not have the embarkation point, that from which particular location they have boarded. Okay, so here I got a simple bar chart out of it. If I have to create a pie chart, I'll just duplicate it. Okay, and then I will click on show me, click on this, and I got a pie chart over here. Let's resize it. Okay, and then I will put my count, and I will also put my embarkation points. Okay, now you can see that's why I never recommend to use the pie chart. Okay, it doesn't matter how much size I will increase. Okay, not out of the box that I have created. Wait, let me increase the box size. Okay, now you can see that over here I have to go with this much of the bigger plot. Still, you will not able to see the blue colors over here very easily. Okay, if you look the laptop from a little distant, then you will not able to look for this particular category easily. Okay, on the other hand, if I'm looking at this particular data, I can easily figure out that there is a 4th category where the value is just 2. Okay, but it is clearly visible to me. But into the pie chart, that is something which is not very quite often visible. Okay, so that's why we are not recommending anyone to go for a pie chart. Okay, generally we remove the null values before the analysis. But yeah, that's what I wanted to show you guys, that this is the reason why we should not prefer. Now let's assume that there are 4 classes, one value is just 1. Okay, then it would be smaller than the 2 is also, and the other classes would be considering a very big space. So into the survive, the one that we have built for survive, here the pie chart works well. We had just 2 categories and we can easily see the separation. We can clearly say, okay, this is more than 50%, like around 60 to 65% of the data that is occupied by this class. Okay, but that is not possible with this class. Oh, sorry, less number of data point that we have over here. But if I come to this particular chart, here we can see that those values are not available. Okay, so this is how we are creating the charts into the Tableau. Okay, in the next session, I'm going to tell you that how to build the different types of numerical data charts into the Tableau. Okay, we are going to build a lot of charts. Okay, a very custom dashboard also we are going to build. So there is an option called as a dashboard into the Tableau. Okay, like this. Okay, now into the dashboard, what we are doing, we are basically adding our charts. Once you have created that, then we will populate it over here. Okay, then we can populate those charts over here, right? Now you can see whatever the charts that we have created, all those charts are populating over here, and this is my custom dashboard. I can go to the full screen also. Okay, so this is how we are, that's why we are learning all this data analytics stuff. Okay, onto a one single page, what are the key charts or key visualization that we have to look, we are going to build that. Okay, this is just a sample. We are going to build a much better chart, okay, with lots and lots of information. Okay, and I'm also going to tell you right now, this is a static chart, means the data is already there and data is not changing. I will also going to explain that how you can build a dynamic chart as the data is changing at the source from where you are taking the data, that can be reflected over here. Okay, so if this value will increase, like right now for the Titan data, it will not. But if we are doing some visualization for the live data, then the values may change. Okay, and for that, we can also create a dynamic charts. Okay, so in the tomorrow's class, in the last class, we are going to talk about the dynamic one. Tomorrow, we are going to totally focus on the numerical charting, and then we will proceed to the dynamic charting. Okay, and we are also going to learn about the storytelling from the charts from tomorrow. Okay, today was just an introduction about the Tableau and how to build those things. And now you guys, what you have to do is you have to practice. I had share a lot of data with you. Just read the data. Okay, click on sheets and start creating the charts by your own. Okay, how to download the Tableau. Okay, very good. Now let me explain that again. Okay, what you have to do is you have to just go to the Google, search for Tableau students. Okay, click over here. Okay, once you click over here, you will get this option, get Tableau for free. So for the student, the Tableau is completely free. Okay, you have to click over here, and then there will be a one form that you have to fill. You have to give your details. Okay, school issued email and all those stuff you have to provide. Okay, you have to verify the student's candidature and you will be able to download it. Or if you are not able to do that, okay, just search for free Tableau or a demo Tableau, and that also you can do. Okay, like Tableau desktop free. Okay, so here we have the download Tableau desktop. Okay, just go over here, provide this information. Okay, and you can download it for the free trial. Okay, so whatever you want, you can use it. It's completely free. Still, if you are not getting it, okay, then watch a YouTube video. Just go to YouTube. Let's search for it. Okay, YouTube. Okay, how to download and install Tableau. Let me give this particular link to you. Okay, follow this particular link and you will be able to download it easily. Okay, attendance is automatic. There is no need of that. It can be automatically taken. Okay, follow this particular tutorial and you will be able to download it. Okay, so that's how the downloading is. Some, if it's still it is not there, then watch couple of more videos and you will be easily get that, man. It's completely free. Okay, for the students. Okay, otherwise you will get it for the 14 days by your email and all those stuff. So freeware you will get for 14 days, but the later on also you will use it, but not commercially. And you guys need not to use it commercially. Okay, so you can use that for the learning purpose. Change the email ID, register